Hello friends, good morning. Myself Dr. Kapil Govani, and today's our topic is on amoebiasis and leptospirosis. Theory as well as practical બંને aspectમાં આ topic ખૂબ important છે, so be focused. Basically we are going to discuss the different aspects like epidemiological triad, clinical features, prevention and diagnostic tests for both of these. So start with the amoebiasis. According to WHO definition of amoebiasis, condition of harboring a protozoa, that is Entamoeba histolytica, with or without clinical manifestation. Yes, basically majority of amoebiasis are asymptomatic. Only around less than 10% of this disease are found in symptomatic. In symptomatic disease, it can be divided into two forms: intestinal diseases and extraintestinal diseases. In intestinal diseases, varies from mild abdominal pain to acute fulminant dysentery. And in extraintestinal manifestations, the organs involved are liver, lungs, brain, spleen, etc. As we have know, Entamoeba histolytica are found in two forms. First is trophozoid and cyst form. Reservoir of infection, basically main is the only reservoir of infection, and the source of infection is feces which contain the cyst of Entamoeba histolytica. Most of individual infected with the Entamoeba histolytica remains symptom free. As we have already discussed, they are also called as a healthy carrier. And the period of communicability, as long as the cysts are excreted from the feces, it can be several years also if undiagnosed and untreated. The statistical data shows that 15% of Indian population may affect by amoebiasis, so it's very important for our country. Regarding the host factor, at any age this disease occur and both sexes are equally susceptible, but frequently it's an household infection. That means that one family member if infected with amoebiasis, other have more chances to infected. Cell-mediated immunity plays an important role for controlling the recurrent amoebiatic infections. Regarding the environmental factor, poor sanitation and socio-economic status are more important than the climate factors for this disease spread. The use of night salts for agriculture purpose favors the spread of disease. In countries with marked wet and dry seasons, infection rates are higher during the rainy seasons. Epidemic outbreaks may also associate with the sewage water mixed with the drinking water supply. Modes of transmission, if we going to discuss for amoebiasis, the most important modes of transmission is fecal-oral route of transmission by intake of contaminated water or food. Vegetables, especially those eaten raw from fields irrigated with the sewage populated water, can rapidly convey the infection. Viable cysts are found on the hands and under the fingernail, may lead to direct hand-to-mouth transmission. Other rare modes of transmission are sexual transmission by ororectal contact, and also by the vector transmission, which the vectors include transmission of amoebiasis are flies, cockroaches, and rodents. They are capable of carrying the cysts and spreading the disease. Incubation period varies from 2 to 4 weeks or may be long. Yes, the diagnostic test, the most important and commonly diagnostic test for amoebiasis is stool examination. We are found the cyst form in the stool. Other tests including extraintestinal amoebiasis. For extraintestinal amoebiasis are serological tests like CFT, that is complement fixation test, indirect hemagglutinin assay, or ELISA, etc. Yes, so regarding the preventive aspect, primary prevention is more important in amoebiasis rather than secondary prevention. As we all already know, the disease transmitted by fecal route. So primary prevention include the sanitary measures, hand hygiene measures, safe disposal of human excreta in sanitary manner, and drinking water purification. It can be done by boiling of water and filtration of water. As chlorination, the routine chlorination doesn't kill the cyst form. So slow and filter is effective for that, and also boiling is effective. Secondary prevention include the early diagnosis by stool microscopic examination and treatment. Treatment part include the antiprotozoal drugs, as we have already know that metronidazole is effective drug for treating the dysentery. The dose is 400 milligram thrice a day, along with antacids and antiemetic drugs, because side effect of metronidazole is higher. Another effective drug is also tinidazole. Yes, it can be given in the dose of 1.5 to 2 gram, maximum 2 gram per day in 3 divided doses. Yes, so this is regarding amoebiasis. Now we are going to discuss leptospirosis, which is very important in southern Gujarat also. This is frequently found in southern Gujarat. Most commonly, it's a zoonotic in the world, especially in the tropical countries. Means heavy rainfall which spread the disease rapidly. An infectious disease that affect the human and animals. The another name of leptospirosis is Wells disease. It's the form of severe form of leptospirosis, also called as a Wells disease. The symptoms or clinical features of leptospirosis, starting from mild febrile illness to fatal disease involving the vital organs like liver and kidney. As we know, epidemiological triad, which include agent and host and environment factor. Leptospira is the agent and the host is main, and environmental factors including urine and fecal material from the wild animal to domestic animal, and from domestic animal to human beings. There are several strains of Leptospira. Leptospira also called as a spirochetes, but the pathogenic strain that include Leptospira antrogans, which is the only pathogenic strain for transmission of disease. Regarding the diagnostic of leptospirosis, apart from clinical features, dark field illumination and silver staining methods are helpful for diagnosis of this leptospira or spirochete. Source of infection basically is urinary shedding of organism from the infected animals. Regarding the animal reservoir, primary reservoir are wild mammals, which continuously reinfect the domestic animals through contaminated urine. Among the wild reservoir or mammals, rodents, rats or mice are predominant reservoir, and from their infected urine or feces, domestic animals are affected like cats, sheep, goat, horse, buffalo and pigs, all the domestic animals. Infection may spread from wild to domestic animals and from domestic to human beings. Human transmission can occur both way, by direct skin abrasion, direct entry of organism by skin abrasion, or intact of contaminated meat or meat of these animals. Leptospira in animals is often in a subclinical stage and may persist for longer period in renal tubules without any evidence of disease, and shedding higher concentration of organism in their urine. So this is the graph showing the modes of transmission. From wild animal, they shed the urine, contaminated water and soil. Domestic animal infected during the grazing, and they also shedding the urine, and from that contaminated soil by urine and feces, it can be transmitted to human beings. Regarding the clinical features of leptospirosis, there are two stages. First is septicemic stage, and second is immune stage. Initial stage having features symptoms like flu like illness, fever, chills, weakness, myalgia, etc. Other symptoms may happens like sore throat, cough, hemoptysis, photophobia, mental confusion, etc. Organism may be isolated from blood culture and CSF. Second stage involves the jaundice, aseptic meningitis, uveitis. Renal symptoms may include proteinuria, oliguria. This stage is due to the body's immune response to infect the to respond to infection. Circulating antibodies may detect or organism may be isolated from the urine. Now, Wells syndrome, as we have known, it's a severe form of leptospira, also called as Wells disease or Wells syndrome. Basically, the clinical features include the severe jaundice, renal dysfunction, and hemorrhagic diastasis. Patient with the jaundice having a orange cast of skin. Patients with severe jaundice are more likely to develop renal failure, hemorrhage, and cardiovascular collapse. Chances of mortality in Wells syndrome is around 5 to 10%. Differential diagnosis according to clinical features may be dengue fever, malaria, hepatitis, and meningitis. So we have to confirm leptospira based on the laboratory diagnosis or silver staining or dark field illumination or culture of the organism. Yes, as we have discussed, the laboratory tests include the isolation of organism by culture methods. Culture we can do the blood and CSF during first week, and later organism may shed in the human urine also. Serological test, as for example ELISA, can also be done in diagnosis of leptospirosis. Rapid check kit are also available for testing the leptospira antibodies. Yes, regarding the treatment aspect, doxycycline is very important drug for treating the leptospirosis. 100 milligram twice a day for 7 days is helpful for controlling the disease. Apart from that, in severe cases, we are also using ampicillin in injectable form also. Primary prevention is difficult because organism has not been eradicated from the wild animals, which constantly infect the domestic animals. But important control measures for domestic animals are good sanitation, immunization of domestic animals, and proper veterinary care. Also, personal protective measures such as gloves and rubber boots when handling the infected tissue or animal or during the farming process. So it is advisable not to go barefoot during at the time of farming or if we are going to visit in the jungle. Measures should be taken to control the rodents, because rodents are most important reservoirs. So anti-rodents regarding the vaccines, both human and animal vaccines are available for controlling the leptospirosis. Human vaccines are offered to high-risk workers, especially to high-risk workers. Animals for domestic animal vaccines are we can use to our domestic animals to prevent the infection in our domestic animals. Okay, so this is regarding leptospirosis. Thank you.